Welcome back to another episode of the Cycle Podcast, the show where we cover 4 trending MLB topics in 20 minutes or less. I'm joined by our usual co-host, Josh, a.k.a. Kablumski. Welcome back to the show, brother. So good to have you on.
Brother, I cannot tell you how happy I am to be back. And this show that we got prepared for the guests is going to be awesome. I can't wait to get started.
I'm very, very excited. And we're wrapping up our day jobs. We're about to be on summer break, meaning a lot more time to watch baseball, a lot more time to talk baseball. So make sure you're following and have notifications on so you don't miss an episode. Let's get right into it. Our first topic today is something that's been eating me for a few days now. Josh, I texted you. I've texted my other baseball group chats because there's something that's just blowing my mind as a baseball fan. And here it is. Hold on to your seats. Kyle Schwarber is a mortal lock for the Hall of Fame. And if you look at kind of like the consensus guys, the Mike Trouts, Verlanders, Kershaws, did I say Max Scherzer? Whatever it is. Kyle Schwarber belongs in that group. He is sitting at 360 home runs right now. He will finish his age 33 season at or close to 400 home runs. And I had my dad in the living room. I was venting this on him the other day. And he said, well, you know, guys can fall off at 33, especially guys that are power-centric, high strikeout, low average guys. But let's say his fall off begins next year, his age 34 season, and he hits 35. You're at about 435. Then he rattles off a few seasons of 20, 25. He's at 500. And he's one of those guys, only 33, that could play till he's 39 or 40 as a DH guy and just hit a few more home runs a year until he gets a 500. By a few, with his power, 20 home runs a year in his age 37, 38, 39 season. He could finish his career at 540, which is a lock for the Hall of Fame. There is no 500 hitter not in the Hall of Fame unless they took steroids or were heavily implicated as a steroid user. Now, the average WAR for a Hall of Famer, wins above replacement, is about 60. Schwarber is sitting at 21.4 right now, which would put him, let's say he ends his career at 34 WAR, which is actually kind of a high estimate. He would be among the lower WAR guys in the Hall of Fame. No Gold Gloves, only 1 Silver Slugger. He's only finished top 10 in MVP voting 1 time, which was last year, where he finished second behind Ohtani. It's just a very strange Hall of Fame case. And like David Ortiz, never really played a position, but he hit a lot of home runs. And that can get you in on its own. He'll be slightly over 1,000 RBIs, and the lock number for RBIs around 1,500. So let's say he finishes at 1,100 RBIs and a 30 WAR. It's one of the strangest Hall of Fame cases of all time. And we just talked about Andrew Jones, who didn't have a lot of the accolades, but he had that elite defense. Right. So the question is, can one elite tool get you into the Hall of Fame if it's an elite tool? Schwarber's power, if he ends at 540, is an elite tool. Yes. Which is, it's absurd that Kyle Schwarber is probably, it's not absurd that he's a marginal guy, that he's a borderline guy. It's absurd that he's going to be a lock for the Hall of Fame. So, Josh, last minute and 45 seconds. Talk Schwarber.
Yeah. So, no, I think you hit it on the head with the being an elite at one specific field because, like you mentioned, the Gold Gloves are not there. I don't know how many Silver Sluggers, if any, he has. One. Right? The MVPs are not there. So you're like, well, wait, why are we making a case for this guy? It's because he is amazing at what he is capable of doing. Hitting the ball and hitting the ball very, very far. I think a couple things that stand out when we talk about Kyle Schwarber is that you mentioned his age 33. That is huge to be at that number of home runs at that age. Now, there's no question that he would get to 400. Obviously, getting to 500, we don't know with the injuries and whatnot, all that stuff. But that is definitely within reach. And I think that is the magic number that is going to get him into the Hall of Fame if he gets that 500 because of all the other things that are kind of hindering his case. Now, what also helps his case is that David Ortiz, like you mentioned, strictly a DH guy, came up big in big time moments, and made his team better with just one tool, his bat. So when you talk about
Here, let me throw you a question real quick, Josh. Let me throw you a question. When you're considering a Hall of Fame case, let's say Schwarber gets a 505, and the voters are saying, dude, he didn't do anything else that well. How much do you factor in the 2016 run with the Cubs, where he was outstanding? How much do you factor in some of his performances with the Phillies throughout the playoffs, where he has been at times a major league clutch dude? How much does that weigh in?
An immense amount. I say that because we're also talking about a guy who has hit a home run in every big time moment that needs to be done. Number one, and also in a big time arena, meaning it was just not MLB. He's also hit it in the USA in the
WBC.
WBC. So he's in the World Series, multiple teams. He's come up clutch. That clutch factor is a factor that cannot be written down by analytics. That's something that David Ortiz also had on his side when he was making it, or when his name was coming up to make a case for Hall of Fame. The big time moments. What did you do in the big time moments? And Kyle Schwarber has done that multiple times. So when you look at him as a whole, you question a certain amount, question a little bit, certain things. But the bat trumps all of that, in my opinion.
Yeah. And going forward on this show, Kyle Schwarber will be referred to as future Hall of Famer Kyle Schwarber. With that, let's move on to our next topic. Our second topic is going back to confidence level. We've been bouncing back and forth between panic level and confidence level so far this season, and I wanted to throw in a weirder one. The San Diego Padres, currently hanging with the Dodgers, 29-20 right now. And we have done this before on this show. And I have publicly said that year after year, I drink the Kool-Aid. I believe in the Padres. This is a team that can hang in the National League. This is a team that can throw the big punches in the playoffs with the big dogs. And here we are again. The Padres are a good baseball team. And we know with the Padres, they're going to make moves. They always do. Bringing in Mason Miller last year, the cost be damned. We're going to bring in a big piece. They're going to do that again this year. They're already saying that they're going to be extremely aggressive at the deadline. They're bringing in a new ownership group who has said, we will spend whatever it takes to stick with the Dodgers. And that's been the story year after year. And the roster, not bad. You have the stars. You have Fernando Tatis. You have the Manny Machados. You have Jackson Merrill, who's currently day-to-day. You brought in Miguel Andujar on a $4 million deal, who has been phenomenal. They've moved him all the way up to second in the order on a day-to-day basis. The issue right now, I have three issues with the Padres. One, they're in the same division as the Dodgers. Two, their big hitters are not big hitting. Tatis currently a .239 batting average with 0 home runs, which
that's huge.
You think is Baseball Reference glitching? No, he has not hit a home run this year. And at some point, that's going to get into his head. I'm sure it's already a mental thing with him this deep into the season, 49 games in. Their starting rotation, Pivetta being on the 15-day IL, and it's already been a month. And they're saying it could be as far out as end of mid to late June when he's back healthy. I'm not sure how long that rotation can hold up. Because, you're looking at a Michael King, Randy Vasquez, Lucas Giolito, and Walker Buehler starting rotation right now. Filling in that fifth spot with bullpen days or calling guys up. How long can they hang with the Dodgers with Tatis not hitting, with some of the injuries they've had? And their strong suit is their bullpen. Adrian Morejon, Jason Adam, Mason Miller. And that is a bullpen that I am completely confident in. 7th, 8th, 9th inning. If you've got to stretch Jason Adam out for a 5-out or 2-inning relief appearance every now and again in the playoffs, I'm happy with that. And the two dudes on their radar at the trade deadline are going to be Josh Hader and Aroldis Chapman. That's already something that's been discussed. So if you're them and you know they're going to make a big move, Do you go for bullpen help and triple down on how strong their bullpen is? Do you try to bring in a third starter, someone of a Sonny Gray kind of caliber? Or do you take the biggest swing of all and try to bring in an elite bat? Josh, last minute and 30 seconds. How confident are you that that the Padres can hang with the Dodgers? Two, what would be your ideal move for the team in the situation they're in, assuming that they do have Nick Pivetta back healthy?
Yeah, so first of all, you're right. This is kind of a weird topic, and I've drinking that Kool-Aid before. The Padres are like the Ravens to me for in football terms. I always want to think that they're going to make it to the ship every year, and I just somehow get defeated at the end of the season. But what's that famous quote that the great Aaron Rodgers said a few years back? Relax.
I'm going to go to South America and take ayahuasca during the off season.
Not that famous quote. The other famous quote when he told the reporters just to relax. All right. Now, if I am going to make a move to answer your question, I'm not going to double down on a bat. I will make a move to get a stronger arm, maybe some bullpen help, triple down, like you said, on the bullpen, because that is their strength. And at the end of the day, pitching wins championships, in my opinion. So, and the reason why I say relax too, John, is because Fernando Tatis is going to hit a home run, first of all. Yeah. And not only that, he has been here before. He'll figure it out. Machado will figure it out. Once Jackson Merrill comes back, Cronenworth, all these guys, they're going to figure it out. It's still somewhat early in the season. And we got to stop comparing them to the Dodgers, okay? Dodgers are in an elite class. They're in a level on their own. They, as Padres, as an organization, just has to keep their head above water, so to speak. What I mean by that is they just have to stay there to make the playoffs and let the pitching take them where they need to be, and that's the promised land. And if their bats are somewhat awake and somewhat in mid-season form, for lack of better terms, they're going to be just fine. I think that when you talk about the injuries that hampered them this season so far, I think that's a big knock on why their record is what it is right now. But I think that as a whole, as a fan of the sport, we got to understand that these big time players will come to fruition. They're going to be what they're known to be as. And once Tatis gets that one, that's all you need. Just get that feeling back, and then everything else starts flowing. They got good leadership. They got good leadership in the locker room, I should say. But they also got good leadership in the administration, in the ownership group. Like you mentioned, they always, every year, they're always going to pay for somebody. They're always going to make a move. So they are invested in that program, or in that organization. So they got to understand that you guys just have to play your brand of ball and not try to be the Dodgers. Just keep the Dodgers in sight, and everything will play out like it should.
Yeah, because if you get the Dodgers in a 7-game series as the Padres, there is so much emotion, so much tension between those teams. Anything can happen. And my last point, my favorite thing about the Padres is if they make a move that's criticized, at least they made a move. It is better to make a move and have it go poorly than to sit on your hands and do nothing. And at the end of the season, what if? What if we had gone out and got that bat? What if we had gone out and got another starter? And the the Padres never end up in that situation because they always do something, and usually it makes their team a little bit better. And with that, let's move on to a really exciting third topic. Our third topic is going to be done a little differently. This is Josh's show as much as it's my show. And today, he's taking charge. He's going to fire a few questions at me that I'm not prepared for, going in blind, like I did to you a few weeks ago. And let's see where the road takes us, buddy. As long as I'm with you, I'm happy.
Absolutely. And thank you for giving me that credit there. I appreciate it, but this is your show, but I love it. So the first question I got a couple scenarios and a couple of opinion questions. So the first one is bases loaded. Bottom of the ninth, World Series, Game 7, the whole shebang, 2 outs, everything that you can possibly make this the biggest
backyard scenario when you're swinging your bat in the back. Okay.
Correct. All right. I got 3 batters that I'm going to list off. I want you to pick one and why.
Okay.
You got David Ortiz. You got Ichiro Suzuki. You got Barry Bonds. All you need is a hit.
God damn.
Who are you picking, and why?
Game's tied or we're down 1. I'm sorry.
Let's make it. We're down 1. We're
Down 1.
No. We're tied. Tied game.
Tie
We just
game.
need a hit.
Okay.
That's why I put Ichiro in there.
It's Ichiro. 100% it's Ichiro. 100%.
Okay, what?
He's the greatest contactor I've ever watched. And I know with Ichiro, if I tell him, put the ball, bloop it right there, right over the second baseman's head. That's what we need you to do. And work a count.
Right.
Okay? Work a count, get your pitch, and put the ball right over the second baseman's head on the grass. If I'm down 1, I tell him I need a liner, I need it into one of the gaps, or down one of the lines. I need a score.
Yes.
If I'm down anything else, give me Ortiz. If I'm down by 2 or more, give me Ortiz.
Wow.
Bonds love the guy.
Yes.
Bonds love him. I'm down 3. I still want Poppy. Because Poppy, like we just said in the big moments, it's Poppy. But if I'm tied or down 1, I'm not sure there's anybody I'd rather have in the history of the game than Ichiro Suzuki. Next question.
Yes. By the way, I agree with you. I picked Ichiro. A lot of people gave me crap for it, so I feel confident that you gave the same answer.
Get out of town.
Second question. In 20 years from now, 25 years from now, we're sitting here, we're on TV, doing our show on TV or something like that. And this, by the way, came from a listener of this show, Neil. Shout out to Neil.
My man.
In 20 to 25 years now, how will Mike Trout's career be viewed as?
Oh, my God, dude. That made my heart sink. Because Mike Trout is going to be the modern Ernie Banks.
Okay.
And that's sad. Yep. He's going to have all the stats. He's going to have the MVPs. He's going to have the name recognition. He's going to be remembered by real baseball fans as, damn, if he could have just had a chance. Just let me see what we could do in the playoffs. Ernie Banks never had a chance. Mike Trout is wasting his career away. He's had one postseason series. And the Angels just couldn't put it together. We're signing Justin Upton. We're signing Anthony Rendon. We're letting Shohei walk. When, by the way, you could have gotten Junior Caminero, which is news breaking recently. It's been discussed in the past. A guy who latched his wagon to a horse that didn't care about the destination.
Correct.
The Angels just want to put butts in seats, and they don't care about winning. And Trout, I talked about this with my dad, too. I bounce a lot of stuff off him when I'm baseball venting. I think Trout is so concerned with staying healthy and staying on the field that the added pressure of being in a city like Philadelphia, like New York, or like the Dodgers, where he's expected to win, is overwhelming. Because all he says, I just want to be on the field. I just want to play baseball. And to go somewhere where, we could be in the ALCS or NLCS, and I'm not healthy, would be brutal for him. And I think that's how he's going to be remembered, as a guy who we just wish we could have seen him play in a World Series. So modern Ernie Banks is my answer.
I compared him to Derrick Rose. I think that was my comparison when I was asked that question by Neil. Because of the injuries, the
painful
teams. So, all right, we're running out of time here. So the third question, this one's a little bit deeper. Other than our boy, other than Jackie Robinson, what player, past, present, future, or not future because you don't know what's coming up, but past or present, has had a big impact to the game or has made a big impact to the game?
Roberto Clemente.
Yes.
Roberto Clemente. Yes. One of my all-time favorites.
I said that too.
Roberto Clemente taught me as a kid that nothing in sports matters more than people. Matters more than community. Matters more than using your platform, using your talents, and turning that into helping others. Whether it be developing, or I should say building developmental programs in your hometown. not caring about going out celebrating with your teammates because somebody needs my help. You will always be remembered as a good person if you were. Ty Cobb, remembered as a great athlete, awful person. Roberto Clemente, how many people can you say? Here's the old adage: great player, better person. Roberto Clemente is a great person, great player. You think of him first as a good person. And we talk about the awards now for community service. The number of players who have come out of Latin America through programs that were built in his honor. You go down to South America. You go down to the Caribbean. People know Roberto Clemente because when it mattered most, when people needed help, people that he didn't know, they'd never met in his freaking life, he put his life on the line and ultimately cost himself his life because he knew that I alone can help right now, and I'm going to. And that means more than anything. That means more to me as a fan than anything. I love Roberto Clemente.
I could not agree with you more, and I was on the same lines.
Good questions, Josh.
Good job.
Really good questions.
Good job.
Oh, man. And emotional. Get me emotional. Love Roberto Clemente. Love Mike Trout.
Same.
With that, let's move on to a more fun topic. Let's get happy. Let's uplift people. We're moving on to Who's Hot. We're wrapping this thing up as we always do with Who's Hot. And as you know, the president, El Presidente of the show, I opened up Shohei Ohtani a few weeks ago. We banned him in years past for Who's Hot. We banned Aaron Judge in the past for Who's Hot. As of the end of this show, Shohei Ohtani will be rebanned. Aaron Judge will still be available to use one time. Now, Josh, you're a coach.
Yes.
Matter of fact, you just got a big new coaching job. You're taking over a whole program, so congratulations on that. If you have a player, traditionally one of your strongest hitters, can't hit, just can't hit for a month, what do we say? Make an impact somewhere else, right?
Somewhere else. Figure it out somewhere else. Yep.
Play great defense. Be a great teammate. Be perfect on the base path. Clean up the dugout after a game. Well, what if you had a guy who was having a down year offensively, and he said, well, what if I can go be the best pitcher in baseball while I'm working things out with my bat? What if I can go be the best pitcher in the league? That's Shohei Ohtani right now. Having a down year. He's on pace right now, I believe, for 26 home runs, which for Ohtani's a down year. He's on pace to hit below 260. Abnormal for him. Also, not necessarily hitting in the big spots. But it's hard to even put into words what he's doing. Through 8 starts, 0.73 ERA, 49 innings pitched, 54 Ks. His start yesterday, his first start of the year where he went less than 6 innings. And I think that's because they're trying to make sure he's fully ready to go at the plate. Another game yesterday where he pitched, earned a win, and hit a home run the same game. Like I said, the home run pace is way down, but he's going to get hot. He's going to get hot with the bat. But having a guy who's your best hitter, who slumps, and then can go out and pitch like a Cy Young is something we haven't seen in our lifetimes, and I'm guessing we will never see again. It's special. Tune in every single time my man's is playing because it's historic and it's unprecedented in every facet of the game. What he can do is unprecedented. So, Josh, I'll turn it over to you.
I just want you to say again how many games he's pitched and what is his ERA again?
8 starts, 49 innings, 0.73.
That's crazy. That is insane. That's high school numbers.
And by the way, his down year is still a year that most guys would dream of at the plate.
Of course.
So there's that.
Of course.
But no more time. This is you.
Yeah, no, I hear you, but we got to realize too is that this guy's a unicorn. So he's in a level, in an alien of his own. So, like you said, a down year for him is anybody else's good year. So, I'm going to switch the page a little bit, and I wanted to go with Schwarbs before the show, and then obviously we had a whole topic about him, so I didn't want to give him, I wanted to switch it up a little bit. But Schwarbs, by the way, 7 games, 7 home runs, future Hall of Fame Schwarbs. 7 games, 7 home runs. The guy's on fire. My guy, though, is through the 10-game stretch, has 11 hits, 3 home runs, is batting at .333. So he's every third at bat, he's getting a hit or getting on base or something like that. 8 RBIs and 8 runs scored. He also happens to be a Virgo, the same birthday as my son, and my same age of 38. So he is doing this on a resurgence of his career. I am talking about Paul Goldschmidt. Now we're talking about Goldie. Goldie to me is somebody who's getting overlooked over there in New York, rightfully so, because they got big time names and big time players over there. But we got to realize is that at one point in his career, he was something to be feared when he stepped into the plate. Not to mention his defense was
former
nothing to
MVP
sneeze at either. Right. And his defense was nothing to sneeze at as well. So you can see that starting to come back a little bit. And I think it's because the pressure is off of him a little bit more. You know, when he was in St. Louis or, you know, he had a little bit, he had a little bit of help with Yachty and the other guys and Arenado, but he was still the guy there, so to speak. Now going to New York, obviously Judge is the guy there. So he kind of gets to take a seat back. And I think that's really giving him a little bit more of a push in his career, in my opinion. And the fact that he's still doing his thing, especially when the team needs him, because you got to understand the Yankees are competing for a divisional championship with great opponents in that division. So a big time player needs to come up big. And yes, maybe the numbers are not staggering off the paper, but we got to realize at the age of 38, in a big time city, a big time sports city where pressure's on, pressure needs to be on to win and all that good stuff, he's still delivering in a fashion that is not only helping his career, but also more importantly, is helping his team win and continuing his career with the Yankees getting forward to where they need to be, where they always want to be, and that's in the playoffs and the World Series. So, got to give him his flowers. I don't know how long it's going to last. So I figured, let him, you know, get his flowers now. Let him know that, you know, he's deserving of who's hot right now. And I hope it continues on for the rest of the season, baby.
But like, not too much, right? Because you're a Rays fan.
Just when they don't play the Rays, I hope he goes 0 for 4 each time.
That's a good point to wrap it up on. Josh, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for providing a topic today. That was a lot of fun, and we're going to do that again. If you ever have any questions, if you want to include make a topic out of it, if you just want us to banter a little bit about one of your questions in another topic, we can find a way to fit that in. So leave it in the comments. Make sure to leave us a like, follow, turn on notifications like we said in the beginning. Josh, take us home.
Yeah, man. Thank you. I'm happy to be back. Like I said, like he said, when you guys watch our show, write some comments on in the comment section. Write some questions. Like you've seen before, we take these questions seriously. We'll put them on the show, and we'll go from there. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Push the notifications and watch the show, baby.
We'll see you next time.